So in today's video, we're going to discuss how you can completely change your identity through physique transformation over a period of around 6 months. And I make this video really just to give you an optimistic, insightful view of what is on offer for you. Because I think a lot of people don't even try because they think it's such a mammoth task of them getting in great shape. But after all the results we've produced within the Gorilla Platoon, I actually don't think it's that much work because I understand the formula. I know how to get many people there, and all you really need is the roadmap to do so. But I can understand why that what goes on between the eyes when you look like this is just so difficult to comprehend that you're going to completely transform your life. Like all of these people, I think 20 kg, 22 kg, 22 kg, all off the frame. There's a lot of weight, obviously it needs to be, but it can be done in a 6-month period where you can completely change how you look and view yourself. And if you then were to zoom out and to look at 6 months across the lifespan, or let's put it like this: if your life is £100, realistically, what it would cost to do this in money would be it'd be like 50p. Yeah, let's say you can live for 100 years. I'll be generous for you. That's what this is like. This will take you 6 months. If you're going to live for 100 years, it's fucking nothing. And you get to completely look like this. But I'll tell you right now, don't focus on the six-pack if you want to completely change how you look and your identity about yourself. So let's go straight into this video. You're going to change your identity in 6 months with this 4-step process that I've created and the way I view and see things. Now, the 4 steps, and they need to be done in this order, are: it starts off with frequency and how you view and see yourself. For a lot of you, you'll think this is hocus pocus, but the way I deliver it to you, you'll be like, it makes sense. Then you've got your thoughts, what you actually think. Then you've got your actions. And then as a result of that, you have the outcomes, which then also would just lend itself back into what frequency you're on: thoughts, actions, outcomes. Now, starting off then with frequency. This is the frequency chart here. This is essentially a load of different human emotions which you will feel multiple times a day. Some more than others, obviously. You've got contracted states and you've got expanded states. Now, neutrality would be the even split in between the two of those, just to give us like a mid-range, with the top being absolute enlightenment, which, if you've ever taken any psychedelics, that's probably the closest you're ever going to get to enlightenment, with the shame right at the bottom. Now, just as a quick thought, you would think that pride may be higher, but actually it's not. You've heard of pride being one of the 7 deadly sins. You would think courage would be higher than it actually is. Then you've got things like anger, desire, fear, grief, apathy, guilt, and the worst of all, shame. After neutrality, you've got willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. Now, the problem is, if you've ever tried to get in shape before watching this video, most people will be trying to get in shape from a lower contracted state. They'll be trying to get in shape from a space of pride. Most of you, it's from pride. And the problem is, for you then, and the reason why most people, if they start to try and get in shape, they will start, and 2 weeks later, they will stop, because they'll soon realize it is hard and they are being challenged and their identity is being rocked. Now, if your identity is rocked, your pride will completely go out the window. Like if you've ever had a fight with someone, you may be all chirpy beforehand, but if the geezer puts you back, your pride's gone, your ego's gone, you're not going to be that chirpy geezer. Now, a lot of people don't really want to put that on the line, especially at something they've not really done before. So they'll say XYZ excuse is the reason why they couldn't stay in shape. They'll blame their kids, they'll blame their job, they'll blame their environment, they'll blame all of these things as to why they couldn't change. The problem is, they're always in a state of pride. If you're in a state of pride, you won't really be able to ever really change, because you don't have the humility to understand that you are where you are in life right now because of your own doing, not because of your kids, not because of your work, not because of any environment. You are where you are in life right now because of your own doing. But look at that the other way. You can change everything now because you got yourself into that situation as well. So it's actually a plus, not a negative. Side note as well, if you ever see there's a coffee cup set over there, because it's 3 PM, I didn't really think to drink it all because I want to sleep tonight, but that mug right now is probably got about half the coffee in it. And there's 2 ways of looking at it. You can either look at that mug thinking, that's a half empty mug, there's only half of it left, which is a pessimistic way to look at the world, or there is half the substance still left in it, therefore it is half full. That's an optimistic way to look at the world. You want to try and look at everything in life through an optimistic lens. Now, I'm not saying being outright delusional, come on, meet me in the middle here, but like, you do want to look at things from an optimistic lens. Now, if you are down in these levels, you're going to really struggle to make decisions for the best version of you because they're contracted states. So if you're in a space of anger, you're not going to make good decisions. How when you've been angry at someone, how quick has it been where you made a certain decision just to try and beat the other person and it wasn't the right decision? Same with desire, also not a good one. Fear is obviously one that the masses try and keep us locked in so we can't think and see things from a greater light. But if you moved up to acceptance and was like, yep, I am fat, it's my own fault, I don't know how to get there, but I'm going to learn and I'm going to submit my ego and have humility to know that I am where I am now, but I don't plan to be for long. And as soon as you accept it and you can move through the expanded states, you can start thinking what the best version of you should be living like. And when you operate like this, people want to be around you. However, people that are operating lower down here, they'll energy vampire your mindset away, and they'll try and shoot it down because they're down here. Like if you've ever worked like in any form of job where there's multiple people around, like I used to be in the military, when like something that we weren't happy with would get pushed out to us, we call it shimfing. It means like basically whining and moaning out about things. And when someone starts, if another person starts, that it just spreads like wildfire. Like people talk really quick. You probably found this then. If your environment is like that, where most people are shimfing, then what will happen is you will start to shift, or you'll be around the level of frequency of people that start to shift. Just like if something's happening to one person, it ends up spreading to others, but it happens for better as well. If you surround yourself with the right people, you'll find that you'll just become like those. It's just like, humans like to be like humans. I can't stress enough how important environment is, but you need to have the humility to understand, where do you sit on this? And it's not permanent, and it's not, I am always angry, I'm in an angry space. This is obviously forever changing throughout the day. But you want to look at this and think, do I deserve to be around the people that are in a space of reason, love, joy? Or am I a person that's in fear and anger? Because if you are, you need to get out of this. For people to help you, you need to move away from this. You need to let go of anything that you're holding on to. You need to understand that it's all your fault, and you need to then be able to come up to at least a space of neutrality for us to even help you to change. If you don't fix this first, none of this even matters. But let's say you do fix this. Let's say you're at the very base minimum, you're in a space of neutrality. Now, you are at least open to changing your thoughts. If your frequency is down here, your thoughts are going to be of that of fear. You're going to think the world's going to end. You're going to think that so-and-so is going to come after you. If you're in a space of guilt, you're going to be like, oh, I regret doing this, regret doing that, blah, blah, blah. I regret eating the cake, whatever. Your thoughts will resemble the frequency that you're operating on. So just get yourself into a space of high frequency. This, and as a quick cheat code, the way to do this, by the way, can be raised through sound is one, so listening to certain music types will raise you up there. Doing like even just going out for a walk will raise the frequency. Also, you have just doing anything that comes in the form of discipline, where you then respect yourself, you'll then rise up this frequency chart. So the first thing I would say is, before you're going to think and plan about how you're going to change your identity and most of all your physique. The physique, by the way, is just the vehicle you're going to use to get the change of identity. Obviously, it happens for two things: physically, for what we can see, hence Exhibit A, but then also it changes how you view yourself, and that's the most important part. But it all starts with this. So you want to be able to come up the frequency chart, do the daily disciplines, that's what's going to bring you up there. But the action kind of leads into this as well. Now, let's say you're at least a space of neutrality. You don't think the world's going to end. You're glad to be alive and breathing, because like that's really the only benefit of life. It's just enjoy each day as it comes. There's no fucking secret to it. You're going to be on this earth for a certain amount of time, then you're going to be dead. No one's going to remember you. No one's going to give a fuck. So just enjoy each day as it comes. I'm not saying be reckless, but I am saying just enjoy it. That's the purpose. Life is just, you just dance to the music. You just breathe the air in each and every day. And when the music stops, you fucking what you want to know about it anyway. So then you go into your thoughts, and your thoughts are relative to what level of frequency you're on. Now, there is a 1.0 version of you right now. That's your current state. That's your basic attack. That's you in NPC mode. That's you as if you weren't trying to be conscious about how you thought and acted. This is your basic attack. This is the bad habits you've been doing for the longest of time that you know you've been doing, and that's why you can't make the change. Now, there's that version of you, and there's a 2.0 version of you. There is a version of you that is capable of having a six-pack, that is capable of attracting 9 out of 10 women, if that's what you want to do, if they're capable of like raising up into your career and having a certain purpose in life. There is a version of you that is capable of that. However, the current version of you will never get to this version if you don't change your thoughts. You must look at yourself and who that character is going to be, and you need to have a vision of that. You need to think, what is the man I need to become to be this version of myself? Well, he's waking up early. He's going to sleep early. He's drinking enough water. He's doing the absolute basic self-improvement things that is needed in order for him to become the 2.0 version of you. Like, if you think there's something you're good at that you'd like to like do for the world, you need to think, well, what would that guy do for me? Like, before I started the Gorilla Platoon, which was like just over a year ago, so I wasn't the 2.0 version of me, but now I am. Now I am the guy that just wakes up, delivers value to people, gets people in good shape, produces good amount of results, does a daily YouTube video, like thinks about where this place can go, thinks about giving out lecture and advice like this so people can be the best version of themselves. That's the way I operate and think now. Like, my standard, and this comes on to this, my standard for that is like work pretty much all day, every day, deliver good results to people. If we're not doing that, I'm just like an absolute piece of shit by this point. That's just the standard I've came for myself. The problem is most people's standard for things in life is just so low. People are in many ways okay with being 25% body fat, or at least getting from 30 to 19% body fat. People are happy with that. That's because their standard for things is so low, because for the longest of time it's been in and around that baseline standard. Like, if you were always earning a certain amount of income and then you earn a little bit more than that, you'll be over the moon, because for the longest of time you earn a certain amount of income. Whereas you should want the absolute most for yourself so you can have the best life possible. The same will go for how much body fat you've got. The same will go for literally how long your hair gets. If it goes past 7 days, I'll have had a haircut. You can bet your bottom dollar I'll have had a haircut, because that's just the standard of like grade I'm happy with on the side of my head. The same will go for how clean your toilet seat is. There will just be a certain amount of days where you're like, enough is enough. There's too many piss stains on there. It's time to wipe the bowl. The same will go for your cleanliness of your room, your fingernails, like the amount of money you make, the amount of body fat you have, the clothes you have, even the people around you. You have a set standard for all of those in your life. The reason why people are where they are is they, for the longest of time, have been okay with the standard they've got. Now, for sure, there's some exemptions, and the same with like when I say you are where you are in life. Of course, there's some exemptions, and there always is exemptions to the rule. But on average, for the most part, I'm not trying to tarnish everyone with the same brush, but like 90% of people that live in like average level lives, that's what we're looking at here with this. So you want to raise your standard. You simply just view yourself with a better light and what you're willing to accept. You must understand that you are not willing to rest until you have X amount of body fat, until you have a six-pack, until you are the man that has got up each and every day at 6 o'clock because you said you were going to. That's what's important, and that's how you become the 2.0 version of you. And for as long as you are thinking you are going to do this, your thoughts at a level of frequency, you're in a prime position. If you generally think you can get to 10% body fat, which you absolutely should do. Now, I'm also saying have an element of humility. That way you don't have pride. However, to be fair, when you set a goal, if you set a goal to do something, you should have the arrogance to believe that with enough time and effort, the humility part, you will get there. You must believe that. You must think, if these people have got to 10% body fat, if these people were able to get to 10% body fat, then I will too. Do you know why? Because if we took off their head, it's just a human torso like everybody else. Like, everyone has a human body. Underneath everyone's human body is a six-pack. It's just physiology. Like, you can get there just like everybody else. The problem is what goes on between people's eyes, i.e. the thoughts they have and the frequency that they vibrate at. Now, as you've raised your standard for what you're willing to accept, and you thought of the character you need to become in order to get there, then you can go into the daily actions. So the North Star you're going to have with the action is your thoughts and who you need to become, that best character version. As a quick action step, just write out a typical day in the life of your best character. In fact, do two action steps. Number one is the guy he needs to become, i.e. what does he look like, how does he think, who does he hang around with, what are his values, what is he not like, and write out your standard for all of those elements that we just spoke about in the video as well. Do those. That's your North Star where you're aiming to get to. But you're going to need the day-to-day habits in order to get you to there. Look at it like you've got a North Star, but the path will only illuminate as you walk through it, and that's your daily habits. That's essentially what would the 2.0 version of me do in a given day, and then I'm going to do this. So the daily habits is you're going to eat in a calorie deficit because you're fucking not 10% body fat and you need to lose body fat. So you're going to be in a calorie deficit, shit bust. Your protein's going to be at 2.4 per lean kilogram of body mass. Done. Then your fats, you're going to set to 20% of that target. Done. The rest you're going to fill with carbohydrates. You're going to walk 10,000 steps every day as a non-negotiable. You're not going to miss that ever again. It's going to be good for your mental clarity. It's good to wind down at the end of the day if you want to save some for then. And it's good for obviously burning body fat. You will sleep 8 hours every night. Most of your problems would be solved by 1 extra litre of water and 8 hours sleep every night. Because most of you motherfuckers are getting like 5, 6 and you're just dehydrated all the day and you can't even think or function. That's the issue. If you were to do that, again, most of your problems would honestly just go away. So save yourself a lot of the hassle and do that. You're going to resistance train anywhere from 3, 4 or 5 times a week, depending on the time you can train and also the age that you've been training. You're just going to do like, I've done many videos on what to do, but essentially 3 days full body, 4 days full body push, everything on the front of the body, full body pull, everything on the back of the body. Create that program up yourself, and then if it's a 5-day push, pull, legs, rest day, chest and back, delts and arms, that's going to build you a nice aesthetic upper body physique. This is one we use for most of the results. I've got videos on programming if you want to watch those and get a more detailed approach. But honestly, at this point, to change your life in your start of 6 months, you don't need to go that deep into it. Like, just honestly, pick a program, and any program will work. And then the last one you're going to use, sorry, there's flies everywhere in here. The last one you're going to use is cardio as well. You're going to be doing daily cardio, 20 minutes per day. Now, the beauty of steps and also specifically the cardio is like North Star envisioning. When you're on the treadmill, heart rate 120 to 130, so nothing too intense, bike, incline treadmill, walk, you're going to use that time also to think of the character that you need to become. So every day you get a fresh roadmap in your mind of who you need to become. As I spoke about in terms of rising up the chart, the cardio will absolutely help you with that, with the music you listen to, and this will help you stay in the higher frequency level. You want to make it your absolute mission to stay up within these realms, because the modern day will try and do everything it can to pull you down. It's so easy to stay down here. If you look at the capacity of like effort it takes to stay there, this is like max effort, this is like minimal effort. So you're going to want to work hard to stay up there. Done on the daily cardio, done on the steps. That way the thoughts you continue thinking are the 2.0 version of those, and then the actions that you take will also keep you in a line with that. And then what's the outcome? The outcome is you change like all of these other guys. Like, there's no reason why you can't go from this to this. Like, in the absolute extreme cases, this to this. Or this into elite condition. Or any of the ones you saw at the start. There's no reason why you can't do it, because everybody else has as well. So that's how you're going to completely change your life identity within a 6-month period through physique transformation as the vehicle. If you found this one useful, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow.